Okay, thank you for joining us in this sharing session. By the end of this sharing session, quite likely you will witness by yourself, for yourself, okay, how KRTC has helped a lot of students, even they were not prepared for the GCE level, and then finally they passed and then they went into the Polytechnic. Okay, I'm Eugene Wong. I'm the math tutor in KRTC for 10 over years. Before that, I was a lecturer and also a HOD. What's the job of a HOD? Basically, the main thing is to help the students to do well. So batch after batch of students, I have to make sure that our students do well, okay, including a proof of their exam marks, a proof of the exam papers, things like that. So when it comes to KRTC, I have an advantage, okay, to help the students to do better. As a tutor, these are some of the feedback of the students about me. Kelvin from ACS, he failed his mid-year A-Maths, okay, and then after he joined me, he was so happy that he got an A1 for his prelim, and then I also O-level. Sahana from CHIJ also D7 in her mid-year, and after 3 months, she got a A2 for her prelim, and then after that, she got an A1 for her, she got an A2 for prelim, and then when she was writing this message to me, she said that she hoped to get an A1 for O-level. She actually got an A1 for O-level. Cindy from Nanchao, she hardly able to do any question before joining me, and after she joined me, she said that my lessons were genius. Chinket from St. Andrews, this is what I will usually do, and then whatever questions that I've gathered and I find that it is good, I will always solve it and then share with everybody so that everybody benefit and learn together. And Khairudin, from F9 to A1, we have a lot of all these examples, and these are just the feedback. This is how students show their appreciation to us after after they were with us and then getting kind of results that they never dreamed of earlier. Okay, so now come back to this topic of tonight. How can you do better? Okay. First, you look at the grading system. This is a secondary school level grading system. We are very familiar with this. In any exams, as long as you get 75% and above, you are considered as a A1 student. A distinction is given to you, right? This system works in school. But then, what happens if, let's say, I'm the student that I do not want to do more than that? If a paper have 10 questions and every question have, let's say, 10 marks, right? I do not want to do two questions, okay? I just focus on 8 questions. I will still get my A1. And this kind of grading system does not work in a national exam, because in a national exam, we are competing with students from different backgrounds, students from different countries. For example, the ASEAN scholars, things like that. So all these students are trained differently. Okay, they are trained differently so that they are able to squeeze into a better JC. They just want to be better than you, go into a better JC, go into a poly for the courses that they want to. And because of that, in any national exams, it is very competitive. And because of this competitiveness, we heard about the bell curve. So this is how the bell curve looks like. Okay, student may ask, if I can score 85% in the exam, or I can score 90% in the exam, how come I'm not given an A1, right? The reason is very simple. At the other end of your O-level, at the other end of your results, there's always a resource limitation, okay? There's a limit of the resources. So for example, you look at this GCE, if let's say the cutoff point is 2 points, 2 points only, okay? Because of limited resources, limited classroom, limited good tutors, they can only accept 100 students. So if all our students are able to get A1, right? Everybody got 75% and above, and then they got an A1, then there's an oversubscribe of students fighting for the same seats in this JCA. And then what is the result? When you got rejected, right? You are qualified to go into JCA, but then you got rejected. Let's say 5,000 students applying for JCA, they are qualified, but they rejected 4,900 students. And these 4,900 students, it is not a good feeling, right? You got rejected by JCA. So the bell curve actually helped to regulate this problem. or help to regulate. If you got really good, if let's say you're really good in your exams, okay, you really score well, you deserve the A1, and then you got the A1. And if you're a little bit didn't do so well compared to other students, you will probably be pushed to the lower grade, getting an A2 or a B. Okay. So now, if you look at this bell curve, where is the cutoff point to get an A1? Do you all know? Any teachers share with you where's the cutoff point to get an A1? Anyone want to share? Do you know where's the cutoff point to get an A1? Is it 80, 85, 90, 95? Anybody have a figure in your mind? Okay, someone replied, what is that? 90%, okay, 90%. I do not know where you got this figure, 90%, quite close to it. Okay, every year, okay, like what Denise shared with you, after 20 over years of teaching O-level students in maths and A-maths, I have a figure for that. How did I get this figure? It is not published. Nobody knows it is not published, but I gather all the information from all my students. And from there, I have a statistics. And I concluded this figure, I know in my mind, okay, if you don't achieve this figure, okay, you will not get your A1. 90% is not enough. Okay, so how do I know this? Every year, every time my students, after they sit for the exams, they are so happy to share with me, oh, Mr. Wong, I missed out something, I lost 2 marks, I lost 3 marks, things like that. So from there, I gather, okay, this is an example of how the students feedback to me in 2018, I gather all this, and then I put this, and then every year, okay, I get all these statistics. And actually, the cutoff point to get an A1 for maths and E-maths is 92%, okay? So this student is quite good, although he says 90%. It's 92% to be exact. As long as you get anything less than 92%, it is very difficult for you to get an A1. So you see, these are my students. These are my students in 2018. Okay, they lost 3 marks, they lost 2 marks, and they're very happy to share, right? And you're fighting with, every year you're fighting with students like that. They're trained differently. They're trained differently, and then they know how to get the points, how to get the marks. Okay, they are not, their target is not 75%. Their target is 92%. As long as they know that they don't miss anything more than 8%, they're so proud to share with me. Okay, and this becomes my statistic figure. And every year I collected this, and it never goes wrong, right? Maybe 1 or 2 years, students who got 90% also got an A1, quite likely because that year quite the paper could be difficult, or the students were not that good for that year, and then they were lucky to get an A1, right? So the figure was 92%. And how come students are not doing well in the exam? There are a lot of factors affecting their performance, right? For example, the change of exam setting. In a national exam, when you go into the exam hall, okay, you are so surprised. Okay, all the invigilators, you never met them before. Depends on how they manage the people, depend on how they manage the students or how they conduct the exams. Sometimes the way they conduct the exams or the way they manage the people may affect your mood to do the exams, right? Or then students, they have stress, and then unexpected questions pop out. Wrong answers that affected the whole questions. Okay, once they made a mistake and then affected the whole questions. Mind couldn't focus, answers are weird, and then they don't believe, okay, how come this answer is so funny, things like that, and then they didn't know what happened. And they lost confidence in the whole exam paper. Not enough time to check, okay, distracted by happenings around. Last year, I had a student, she's supposed to be an A1 student, okay, supposed to be one of my top students. And she was badly affected, distracted by happenings around her. Somebody sitting beside her kept coughing, okay, cough and cough and cough. And because of this COVID-19, the whole hall was affected. Okay, she was affected, she was sitting beside him. And the invigilators did not know what to do, walking up and down, making a lot of noise, but just did not know what to do. So distracted. And she did not perform well, and she only got a B3 for her maths. Okay, badly affected from A1 drop to B3. Did not rest well, and then did not eat well, medical reasons, etc. So these are some of the problems that candidates have experienced before, and then we're quite aware of all these things. The thing is, how do you handle cases like that? I was telling the girl, okay, you shouldn't be distracted by all this, let the invigilator do it. You just start off and then just focus on whatever you're supposed to put onto the paper, things like that. So our students supposed to be trained this way. But anyway, during exams, because of the whatever is happening, sometimes I just couldn't handle, and then she just lost a A1 grade. And now in the exams, these are the problems that candidates face. These are the problems that we all know. Now we look at the paper itself. The people could set the paper. The people could set the exam questions. Okay, we call them setter. Setter, they are trained. Okay, they are trained to set the paper, like what Mr. Ng said. They are trained to set the paper. They know how to set the paper, and they have some guidelines to follow. Right? They have some guidelines to follow. This is just an example for this presentation. They might have these guidelines. Okay, so the setters will say, okay, 85% or 90% of the questions supposed to set to help the students pass. Anyway, in any exams, okay, the setters are not there to set questions to fail the students, right? They are there to set the questions to help the students pass. As long as you attended class and then you did your work, you're supposed to pass, right? But to distinguish, to differentiate those are better students from the normal students, they always set a percentage. For example, for this case, I put 10% to 15%, which is quite normal in any exam papers. Okay, they set 10% or 50% of the questions to be a little bit more challenging, so that it's really differentiate. Okay, the better students, those who know their concept well, to be a little bit different. Okay, from those normal students, right? So come back to this graph again that I have gathered. I say that 92% is the cutoff point. If you don't get 92%, it is okay. It is quite difficult for you to get an A1. So if you look back at this, if you are able to do 90% of the paper, right? You still have to squeeze into here. You must be able to solve some of these questions that's under this category. And if you really can solve it, half of it, you get another 7%, you're qualified to get A1, a distinction, okay, for that subject. So for maths and A-maths, 92% is the cutoff point. Then what kind of questions we consider that as challenging or difficult? Is it like a monster kind of questions that it pop up and then frighten all the students? It's not that scary, okay? The questions can be just something like that, okay? But in your practice, you might not have seen these type of questions before. It is so simple. Okay, ABCD is a trapezium, and then AD is 18 cm and BC is 6 cm. And you're supposed to find the radius of this circle, which is inscribed inside this trapezium. Okay, AB is equal to DC. So I'm putting these questions here because it was asked by some students who was preparing for her exams, and then she came across these questions. She threw to me, and usually when I have good questions, I will throw to all my students and then see how did they do it. Okay, this student, she's one of my top students. Okay, consistently getting A1, no problem. Anytime I throw her questions, she could solve. And for these questions, she spent 15 to 20 minutes, and then she did not get an answer. Okay, this student will did not get an answer after 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, set 4 students. Another set 4 student sent this to me. He put the word assuming. Yeah, this is what Mr. Ng said. If you are a candidate, some words you cannot use, or some method you cannot use. Once you use it, immediately wrong. Okay, this boy is also one of the top student in his class, in his level. Okay, in his school, in his level. One of the top student or consistently getting A1, set 4 student. He spent 45 minutes and he couldn't solve it. He couldn't solve it, and he's so desperate when I was chasing for the answer, he just put assuming. He assumed. Straight away I put it wrong, and then I asked him, did I say never put assumption in any of the solutions? He said yes. But this kind of scenario always happen in the exams, right? When a student suddenly saw questions that they're not so familiar with, their mind goes blank. And then when they really cannot solve it, after spending 45 minutes, they just pump, ignore all the rules, all the regulations, and then they just want to get the thing. I do not know how he figured out to get this 6, but the answer was correct. Anyway, in the exam, national exams, okay, the marker has the right not to give you any mark because you used the wrong word, you used the wrong term here. Okay, so these are some of the things that we'll share with the students. How you present your solutions is very important to score, right? His answer is correct, 6 cm, but his presentation was wrong. So wrong, okay, no marks. Is this question very difficult? Set 3 student did this. Okay, my set 3 student replied again, she spent 15 minutes. Okay, she apologized to me. She says she took some time to understand the question. She took 15 minutes and then she did this and she got same answer as that boy. She got 6 cm, which was correct. But in an exam, how can you spend 15 minutes to solve a question like that? Anyway, this kind of question is about 5 marks or 6 marks. Okay, I'm choosing all these 5 marks, 6 marks question because once you cannot solve this question, you only have 2% more to play with, right? If another question pop up and then you couldn't do, you lost your A1. And to share with you, these students, like what I say, these set 4 students, they are all the golden boy and golden girls, okay? They help me a lot, okay? And every time they will give me the solutions whenever I throw to them. But how come suddenly they just couldn't solve it? And look at this boy, set 3, O-level express, okay? He's a set 3 boy. His working is so short, and his answer is correct, 6. Okay, set 3, he spent 15 minutes to solve it. This is my solutions to them. And of course, I have to tell them the reason based on circle properties and then tangents, and then you draw 2 congruent circles, and then you got this, the length of AB. From AB, you use Pythagoras theorem to find the diameter is 12 and the radius is 6. This was my answer to them. Okay, I was preparing this answer, trying to give to them. Then I saw this. Then I saw this solution. Okay, this boy did not use whatever I was written down here, congruent triangles. He did not use. When do you learn congruent triangles? Most of you all learn in set 2, right? Circle properties, some of you all learn in set 3, some of you all learn in set 4, and Pythagoras theorem in set 2. But this boy used properties of kite and Pythagoras theorem, things like that. He got a perfect score. Okay, nothing wrong with this. Properties of kite, yeah, is correct. Although he did not use the same reason as mine, his solution is perfect. Nothing wrong. And he only spent 15 minutes to do this. So the question is, how come the step 4 students, top step 4 students couldn't do question like that? One of the reasons is they are unable to link a lot of topics together. They can't see the things are linked together from step 1 to step 4. In school, we have term tests, we have topical tests, things like that. Those will not help you in the exams. Topical tests, that means only that few kind of questions will come out. Everybody will score 90%, okay? And the teachers got no worry. Everybody will do well because it's topical. After I teach you this topic, we go for the exam, everybody will do well, right? But if you really sit for the exam, just now I was talking about 92% to get an A1. Ask yourself, how many of you score 92% in any exam paper? Above 92% consistently, right? If let's say out of 10 times, you score above 92% 3 times, that means you have a 70% probability of not getting an A1 in the real exams, in the GCE O level, right? So if let's say you do 10-year series, okay, there are 10 papers there. Only 3 years you could score 92 and above. So what about the other 7 years? If you are so unlucky, okay, and then you got a paper that is as difficult at those 7 years, you did not get 92% within that specific time, you lost your A1. All this is very normal. I saw a lot of students, okay, very confidently, well prepared. Went in, 2 more months later, we saw, oh, okay, quite disappointed results. So you know yourself, I know also, okay, not many students can consistently score 92 and above in every paper given to you, right? This is another question. CE is parallel to DF, and then BE is parallel to CF. And you're supposed to prove that AC squared is equal to AB multiplied by AD. Some of you all might have seen this question before because it was asked by a student who was revising maths, okay? So I think she got this from her textbook. I do not know which textbook, and she couldn't solve it. She's a Set 4. So I sent this question to everybody. This guy, Set 4, couldn't solve. He could only prove that the triangles are similar, but then he couldn't prove that AC squared is equal to AB times AD. So we have quite a number of students that couldn't solve it. This is my solution to them. Of course, I have to tell them the reason. You have to prove that these triangles are similar because of AA reasons, and these are the ratios. And from these ratios, you conclude that AC squared is equal to AB times AD. Well, it's my solution, right? Come back to this student. He could prove that all the triangles are similar. Then how come he couldn't get the ratios? Okay, anything can happen. In exams, it's the same, right? They can only give me half of the solutions, but after that, the ratios are supposed to be more easy, right? You just put in the ratios and then you see how are they linked. But he couldn't solve it, couldn't get it. So what about my set 3 student? This set 3 student, his solution is shorter than mine. He just make use of parallel lines, and then he said that because of this condition given in the question, okay, CE is parallel to and then B is parallel to CF. He concluded that this ratio is equal to this ratio, and therefore AC is equal to AB over AC because AE over AF are the same. So he concluded that AC squared is equal to AD times AB. I asked him how long did he use to solve this. He said less than 10 minutes. So students, sometimes they see things differently from how we see it. Okay, I cannot mark him wrong because he got this everything correct. When do you learn parallel angles? When do you learn ratios? Step 1. You learn all these things in step 1, right? And he just applied whatever he had learned into a step 4 question. And this is a step 4 question because it was found in a step 4 textbook. This is the step 4 question. He did not use any reason that is written down here. He did not use similar triangles at all. He just said that these two are parallel, so this ratio, and he solved this. Okay? So these are the kind of questions that we are more worried about because they are the 5 marks question. And once you miss this 5 marks question, your A1 is gone. Okay. Below, okay, after this, I will share with you how KRTC have helped a lot of students. We have helped a lot of students to do well in their GCE level. Okay, you will witness yourself. Okay. This slide. Who I met before. These are the names that I will mention later. Okay, these are the names I'll mention later. Samuel, Cedric, Ainsley, and then Favan, Sean. More than 50% of these people, I never meet them before. Why? Because our lessons were conducted online last year. These students were our students last year. Okay, I never met them before. No, I do not know who Samuel is. Even the WhatsApp they sent to me, they never put their picture. Okay, they never put their picture, and when we go online, they say they do not want to on the camera, things like that. So I never met them before, and what I want to prove to everybody is online actually work, right? We never meet each other before, never. I do not know how it looks like. We only communicate through online. Okay, with the whole lessons, the whole 2-3 months lessons were online, and they did very well for their O level. I never met them before. So this slide is important to prove that online actually works. Okay, a lot of students and a lot of parents tell me online doesn't work. Don't waste time on that. Because of their bad experience in school, because of their what we call that home-based learning, because of their bad experience with some other educators, they say that online doesn't work. But this slide proves that online actually works. Depends on how you work, how you work with the student and to get the results, right? So we look at this case 1, Samuel. Samuel daddy text me on the 7th of August. Okay, 7th of August, he text me. He asked me, can I take in this student, his son, resistant to take tuition. Okay, refused to go to school because whatever the teacher is teaching, he doesn't understand. He didn't understand. He did not want to waste his time in school. So he was trying to figure out, okay, how to do well. So it was on the 7th of August. And then I say, I can't promise you anything unless I talk to the child. So that day I talked to the child, I was surprised. This child actually gave up hope on doing his O-level. Okay, something came to my mind. You see, I do not know how the daddy looks like. I was talking to a eagle or a hawk. Okay, there was no picture of the daddy. Okay, I was communicating with this animal. So at night, Samuel told me he did not want to take O-level. He was prepared to go ITE. Then in the conversation, I asked him, have you started to do 10-year series? He told me he doesn't have a 10-year series. He did not have. But I changed his mind in the conversation. I changed his mind. The next day, the daddy texts me again. It's 8th of August. He said, both are interested to continue to come to your tuition session. And then we thought, of course, from there we see how to help the child. The next day, the child was so happy. He went to buy his 10-year series. 9th of August. Okay, 9th of August, I just remember 9th of August is our national day. Okay, probably he did not go to school and then he went to buy his 10-year series. The book was very new and he was sitting in his desk and then he was ready to do some work. 10th of August, I asked him, have you started? He said, yes, I've started. How come a boy from that do not want to take O-level, okay? He's ready, he's willing to go and buy his 10-year series and ready to do some work. And he trusts Mr. Wong. Okay, you can say that, okay, 10-year series, I've done so many rounds already. Teacher also asked us to do 10-year series and Daddy Mami also asked me to 10-year series. But it's the same material, if you use it differently, you use the same material and then you teach, you use it differently, you will get different results. And Mr. Wong was teaching him how to do it differently to get results. Okay, if you follow whatever you are doing comfortably every day, doing blah 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 blah, you will still get the same kind of results. You will not cross over the 92%, right? But if you understand what is Mr. Wong's motive, basically to help you, and then you just follow, and he really follow whatever I asked him to do, right? And 1 week later, the daddy texts me again. Okay, this animal texts me again. Okay, he say, last Friday, Samuel went for paper 2, but he did not go for paper 1. He skipped his prelim. He skipped his prelim. He just did the paper 2, and then he said no point going for paper 1 because he did not do well for his paper 2. Then I told the daddy, I say, anyway, I think there's hope for this boy. Okay, there's hope for this boy because I can sense that he's actually putting some effort. So he did not do well in his prelim, and he followed my system. And what happened after his O-level? Same thing. Every student after O-level, they went to calculate what's their marks, what's their score. Okay, he came out. He said, Mr. Wong, I probably was scored 71%, 71 marks. 71 marks. I was laughing. 71 marks. How come you give me 71 marks? And you did not give me a rough figure, 65 marks or 70 marks or 75 marks. How can you give me 71 marks? So I didn't know how he calculate, and then I just say, oh, okay, maybe it's just a pass, right? A few months later, he told me, Mr. Wong, I got a B4 for my maths. Okay. And he went to Polytechnic and he's doing electrical engineering in the Polytechnic now. Or instead of going to ITE, not that ITE is no good, but if you go into ITE, you are spending another 2 years. Okay, wearing uniform as a student, You have to spend 2 years to study, right? But he was so happy. He went to the polytechnic. Of course, the daddy was very happy. And last time he did not put his photo there. He did not put his photo there. Or I can't remember. But now he's so happy that he's willing to put a photo there of himself, but to know who is he, because there are two persons there. So go to case 2. Case 2 is Patrick. 25th of July. Today is what? Today is today is mid of July, 25th of July. The mommy call KRTC, and then I have to reply the mommy on that day, 25th of July. I say I will call her after 10 p.m. because I was still busy with some student. I confirm again the child is set for this year, means 2 more months to O-level exams. She said yes. So that night I called the mommy, I talked to the mommy, and then the child was beside the mommy. And I wanted to talk to the child did not want to talk to me. He refused to talk to me. He refused to pick up the phone. So the mommy was so angry, the mommy couldn't do anything. And the mommy told me, because he was playing game. He was playing game, he was so engrossed in his game that he did not want to talk to me. Or the game is more important than his O-level. Anyway, he failed both his maths and A-maths. So the mommy said, no choice, she just enrolled the child into my lesson. On the 1st of August, I gave him this link, and his reply is, I cannot click on the link. He couldn't come in. I do not know whether that lesson he came in or not. Anyway, that 2-3 months, we were working very happily together, and he finally got his results. He got a B3 for A-maths. He got a B3 for A-maths from E8 to F9. And I think he got a A2 for his E-maths. He was so happy. What he wants to tell me, to thank me, is Mr. Wong has a lot of shortcuts. The shortcuts are so important that save him a lot of valuable time in his revision. Right? Otherwise, he's more busy to play games than do any revision, right? So I helped him, okay, this is the way to do your revision. And he said even the exams, he used all my shortcuts, and he's surprised that he got a B3. This is Patrick, a very happy boy. He went to Nanyang Poly. Okay, this girl from D7 to A2, he joined me at the beginning of last year. He failed his A-maths throughout Set 3. She has an E-maths tutor. She has an E-maths tutor, but then the E-maths tutor couldn't help. The E-maths tutor was her primary school maths teacher, okay, and then helping her all the way to Set 4. So when she joined me, I think her E-maths was somewhere in the B range, okay, B3 or B4, something like that, because a few lessons I was helping her in her E-maths. So after joining me, he said that, under Mr. Wong's lesson, she started to understand A-maths, and she found that A-maths was interesting and then manageable. And she was so happy that she got an A2. And the mommy was also very happy. Okay, I did not see this mommy before. She said that, okay, from a failed subject to an A, and she was very happy. And of course, mommy know about A-maths, things like that. She said, actually, Mr. Wong has simplified a lot of things, detailed steps on solving A-maths for this girl. That's why this girl say, A-maths is now so interesting and it's so manageable. Okay, it's not so scary anymore. Last time whenever I talk to her in A-maths, she always compare. Okay, my E-maths teacher say this. Okay, after that, she also grateful to me, and then she just sent this thing to me. I say thank you. Another Favan. Favan joined me somewhere in March of last year. And 18th of March, he sent me an SMS, and then he introduced himself. Anyway, I'm Favan, okay? And then can you help me to solve this question? So our relationship was somewhere started in March of last year. And after that, when he got the results, he was so happy. Teacher, you can use my name to advertise. I said, why? He said from Phil, he got a B3 in his prelim, and then he got an A1 for his O-level. He was so happy. From Phil to B3, and from prelim to O-level, he jumped 2 grades up, 2 grades. So he was very happy. He went to JC. What I want to show you is he is taking 2 subjects under maths. Okay, in JC we have H1 maths, which is quite equivalent to our O-level A maths, and then our H2 maths. 90% of the JC students will take H2 maths because there are more options for them when they go to the universities with a H2 maths subject. Okay, 90% and H2 maths is not easy, it's quite tough. And he also take one more maths called further maths. And every JC probably have 20 students or 30 students taking further maths. Most of these students are actually people from overseas, we call ASEAN scholars, all taking further maths. So what I want to tell you is students who are under me doing maths under KRTC, they have the confidence to continue maths even when they go to JC. The confidence there, they say, oh, actually maths is so interesting, so easy. So these are the people that we change their mind, change the way they work, and change the way they study. Some of them join us during National Day or 2 more months before the exam. Some of them, less than 2 months, so they join us. Okay, and then they were so happy, get the B3 or get a B4. We don't stop students in this level only. Okay, sometimes it change the mindset of the students that benefit them throughout, even they are graduated from KRTC. Okay, this boy, Sean was an NT student. He was an NT student, and then he did not do well in his PSLE, and then he went to NT. After joining us, and he was squeezed into NA. He did very well in his NA, and then he went to Polytechnic. So 2019 January 20th, I think that was somewhere before Chinese New Year that he texted me, and then I said, okay, this boy still acknowledge that under your way of teaching is very short or very strong or whatever, very strict, but he enjoyed and he knows that benefited him. So now Sean is very focused, very hardworking, a big change from primary school where he was very playful, did not want to study. And after joining KRTC, after joining us, he has a total change of attitude towards study. Okay, so he did very well. That time he was still in Polytechnic. What happened? Now it's 2021, 2 years later. I received this 2 months ago. Okay, I received this 2 months ago. 13th of May, Sean sent this to me. I got accepted into NUS Mechanical Engineering. Okay, those who know NUS Mechanical Engineering, okay, this is one of the top courses in Singapore. NUS Mechanical Engineering. Okay, in my era, we know. Okay, mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, first year in the university, everybody started in NUS. After first year, then the better one will stay in NUS. The average one, they will go to NTU. So until now, mechanical engineering in NUS is still very famous. A lot of JC students who got all A's, okay? If they cannot go into medical school, they will opt to go into mechanical engineering in NUS. Why? Because it's very theoretical. The way they teach this mechanical engineering or electrical engineering is very theoretical. Whoever join them, there is a high chance for them to be a scientist, to be a researchers, okay, or to stay in NUS to continue in this field. So imagine this boy, when he was young, he did not like to study, and then he went to NT, and finally he's studying together with the top students from the JCs. Okay. So now, come back to you. Are you ready? Like what I say, I ask, do you consistently get 92 and above in any paper you tried? Okay, how many percentage, let's say 10, okay, 10-year series, 10 papers, how many papers do you get 92 and above? Whatever you have gotten in school does not count, okay? Whatever results that you have gotten in topical tests, term 1 test, term 2 test, all those does not count, okay? When you sit down, really seriously do a paper itself, how many of these papers is score 92 and above? Are you ready to go for your O-level? Are you ready to go and fight with those people who were trained differently? People, the ASEAN scholars, they were trained from their own countries before they came over here. Or some were trained by their parents, some were trained by special teachers, things like that. So are you ready or not? Okay, schooling, I'm talking about Joseph Schooling. Okay, Joseph Schooling, he is a swimmer. He's already a national level swimmer. He's a good swimmer, right? He has a team of swimmers, a team of swimmers representing Singapore. But the parents know that he could do better, right? So the parents sent him over to US to train under a different facilitator, to train under a different coach, right? And then he went over, the whole team, only Joseph Schooling went over, and finally he got the first Olympic Games for Singapore, right? So sometimes you may think that, oh, I'm already in the national level team, I'm already very good. But the parent knows, okay, you can do better. So they send him to have a different kind of training. The facilitator over the US, do they really need to train him how to swim? No need, because he's already a swimmer. He's representing Singapore, okay? We do not need to train them how to swim. Just like Mr. Wong, if you join me, I do not need to tell you how to do maths. I do not need to tell you what is Amex. I do not need to tell you all the theories behind every topic, right? What I need to do is I look at your solutions, I tell you that this is the way you're supposed to improve. And that will definitely help you to improve. Another one grade, two grades, some of them, or Samuel and Cedric from field to B, okay? From ITE to Poly. So that is what the role of a facilitator do. Okay, we do not need to teach you all the theories. I assume you already know, right? If you do not know, I can briefly, using all my shortcut methods, to tell you how to do it easily, effectively, and the fun way. Okay, so now you may think that why I have to spend so much time in maths or A-maths, because I'm already very good in my maths and A-maths, same as Joseph Schooling. I'm already a national swimmer. Why you have to spend $1 million to send me over to US to train? Because the result is different. Now you are a gold Olympic gold medal holder, right? You are no more just a national swimmer. You are an Olympic gold medal, right? So student will ask, okay, I'm already good in maths and A-maths. I do not want, because I need a lot of time to do other subjects. I need more time to do other subjects. So you look at this student. Okay, I'm taking this as an example. 1L/5. This student is working very hard. Okay, and all of us know, the parents know, the teachers know, when we were a student like you, I was not so good in my studies. Okay, I wasn't so good in my studies. I couldn't get all the A's for all my subjects. There's no way. All like my languages, my humanities, all those things, those compulsory subjects, I didn't do well, right? I could only do science, maths, things like that. If a student can get all A's, wow, it's very good. You must have spent a lot of time on that to get all A's. Okay, knows all the subjects are A's. What about student B? Student B didn't do so well in some of the subjects quite naturally at that age, at a young age. Okay, how to spend so much time to get all A's for all subjects? But he's smart. He focused on 2-3 subjects. Make sure that he got an A1. Okay, 2-3 subjects. For example, let's say you are good in Chinese, you are good in maths, you are good in A-maths, 3 A1s. Okay, these are just average. He also got a B in subject E, subject F. His total marks is 11 points. 11 points compared to a 12 points. Who is the better? Who is the better student when they choose to go into the polytechnic or the JC? Okay, the JC or the polytechnic, they will take student B because he got 11 points. 1 point difference is a lot. Okay, if every year you look at the student, 1 point difference is a lot. Okay, because of that 1 point, a lot of them got rejected by the even polytechnic. You look at, I think they have 12 options, 12 choices. And then finally, they only got maybe the number 10 choice or number 8 choice. Okay, all the earlier choices all gone. Because 1 point difference makes a lot in your polytechnic or in your JC. And don't forget about our student called Samuel. Samuel calculated his marks. he got 71 marks. He got 71 marks for his O level. If this 71 marks is in the school, he is an A2 student. Or he was an A2 student for 71 marks. But 71 marks was actually a B4 for his O level. So all this A2 probably is just a B4 in O level because you are squeezed out. You are squeezed out of the bell curve by those other students. Your total point now is 24 points. This is quite real, huh? Because Samuel gave us a good example, 71 marks, but actually was a B4. So let's say all these are B4, okay, it's no more A2. This is a B grade student, 24 points. But student B still focus on maths, A maths, 2 subjects, 2 ones, and then the others, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got B, got C, you got 19 points. 19 points still qualified to go into a JC, right? Student A cannot go into a JC because even he go for a Millennium JC, he needs 20 points to go into a 3 years JC. He needs 20 points. So 24 points out, definitely have to go to Polytechnic. Then our past students, okay, I have this student, very kei one, okay, Serena Teo, okay, Serena Teo, his feedback her advice to the younger people were very straightforward. Trust the system, trust Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong knows exactly what to do. So why she say that? Because after her primary school, okay, she got 230, just an average student. The parents were very busy, so I helped the parents. Okay, I brought this girl, went around a few secondary schools. Okay, let her choose which secondary school she wants to go. We spent the whole afternoon, visited a few schools she didn't like. And when she went to Geylang Methodist at 6 p.m. that evening, I remember it was at 6 p.m. because the guardhouse want to close gate already, 6 p.m. She went in, she said she wants to go into Methodist, Geylang Methodist. And because she liked that school, she did really very well. She did very well, and then she got 3 points for her O level. What I want to say that she went to RI, 3 points, she actually was qualified to go into Hwa Chong or RI, but her parents wanted her to go into RI. She chose 2 subjects, 2 major subjects under maths, right? So the impact was so great. And she was so confident, okay, doing H2 maths and further maths and physics, economics, half of economics was statistics, right? Was also under maths. Physics was also partly under maths. And this year, okay, she will be joining NUS with an offered scholarship. And average students, and then she's going to NUS with an offered scholarship. I think she was given 2 scholarships, but I do not know what was it. What is the final choice? Sometimes you need the extra help. Whether your parent is whatever animal it is, sometimes you just need extra help. For the child, you need that extra help. Okay, then what about the way I conduct my lesson for this course? Okay, to help the last minute. Okay, the last minute course for these O-level students. Before the session, before the lesson, you'll be given some topics to prepare. Okay, to be fair to you, I know that everybody is busy. To be fair to you, I only give you some topics to prepare. I do not need you to prepare everything. You just be very focused on the few topics, prepare to ask questions, prepare to clarify concepts before, during, and after lessons. Okay, some students take longer time to understand, to understand, to digest, so they need more time. Okay, so before, during, or after the lessons, you can ask to clear any concepts or to solve any questions. And what happened during the lesson? It is a war game. Okay, it is a real war game. During the lesson, it is a real war game. But don't worry. Okay. As a result, you are a trained warrior. You are a trained warrior anytime ready to go for a war, and you will win, right? So just now I asked, if you ask yourself, if you sit down for a paper, how many times you got 92% on the book? And After going through this course, I'm quite sure, okay, you can tell me, you are quite confident to get all the papers higher than 92%. Okay, these are some of the guidelines. The lesson has no lesson plan. If I plan out a lesson and then I just go there and then blah, 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 there's no effect. Okay, it will not help you. The lesson is change accordingly. Okay, a plan accordingly is customized, depends on my group of students. I have to understand where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses, and all this will change accordingly. We have a lot of students. Okay, a lot of students are doing AMATs, but they are very poor in algebra, right? They're very poor in algebra. So we may have to spend a little bit more time to strengthen that part before they can do well in the whole subject. And at the end of the 12 lessons, I'm quite confident quite a lot of students will say, I have improved. I can do better now. Okay.